I don't get what I want, I get what I need. Every single day I'm heading off to my dream, and I get everything that I damn well please. I don't give a damn if you all listening to me, cause I run it. I'm the only one that really want it, I'm the only one that's really on it. I'm just being honest, I'm just doing everything I promise, cause I want it bad enough that I'm
Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 what Deku had every quirk. Yes, I actually made a part 3 for the first time in forever. I know you guys have been looking forward to this, so I'm not going to make a huge stop. Next like goal is 125 likes, and she smashed the last one. And yeah, let's just jump into it. Last time we left off was on where I actually changed the story to my liking a lot. So, it started with Deku gave Bakugo strong explosions, amped up Uraraka's quirk, and Todoroki challenged him to a fight. Deku whipped Todoroki at first and managed to actually get him to use his fire side early. This is just after the fitness test. And so they're all walking home together as they all got interested in Deku's quirk. And Todoroki challenged him. Deku just beat up Todoroki until he made Todoroki realise it's his quirk and he had to use it or he would die. And Todoroki exploded with flames and he still tried to attack Deku, but Deku still whipped him. So Deku amped up Todoroki's flames to being able to go to blue or black, and his ice is nearly indestructible. And then it ended with them both charging at each other. And let's go from there. As they're charging together, Deku starts speeding up, shocking everyone. They're thinking that Deku can't get stronger, yet he keeps on doing it. And he speeds up to the point where his body starts looking like it's breaking apart. And when they reach there, Todoroki slams his arm up, trying to smash Deku with ice on fire and his fist. But Deku just says, not strong enough, and catches the blow. As power explodes around them, the ground breaks. Deku just flicks Todoroki's arm downwards and knees him in the face hard, sending him flying backwards. And Todoroki, for the first time, is enjoying a fight. And his flames just explode as he catches himself with his eyes and charges towards him. Deku yells at him, "You're relying too much on your quirk, for God's sake." And Todoroki's like, what? He's just confused, like, what does he mean I'm relying on my quirk? And Deku's like, let me make a point. He rushes at Todoroki and flies using his wings. And instead of punching Todoroki like he normally would, he'd fly up and shoot down feathers at him. Todoroki easily blocked this. And he like, does that make sense now, Todoroki? I'm using my quirk too much, I relied on it. And look, you easily blocked it, where before, if I'd do something else, I'd hit you. And Todoroki just had like a mind-blown moment. He's thinking, he's right. And Deku uses his wings to make a sonic, breaks the sound barrier and flies down at Todoroki. And covers his fist in flame and punches down, making, literally burning Todoroki's arm and pushing him through the ground. Todoroki thinks he'd show us what he has to do. He gathers flames at his feet and makes them create an explosion, flying up. And covers his hand in ice and punches Deku for sending him flying backwards. Deku makes a huge smile on his face and says, "About time." Sorry guys. And Deku's eyes start glowing and says, now it's time for the real fun. He starts using Wonderful, something he hasn't really had to use a lot. He puts it at 10% and disappears. Using it and grabs Todoroki's face and slams it into the ground, shattering the ground around and making a crater. And then he puts his hand back in the air and creates eyes stronger than Todoroki's and smashes it down onto Todoroki's chest. Todoroki's like, I've lost. I think you broke my ribs. And Deku's like, no, you just haven't realised the strongest part of your quirk. Todoroki's like, what? And then he realises his arm that he thought was broken is healed. And it's because it got covered in his flames. Todoroki instantly realises and slams his hand on his chest, using his fire on himself. And all his energies get healed. And he just smirks. That's when it happens. One of his eyes turned completely black. And the other one a light blue like his eyes. And power just explodes from him, shocking Deku as he flies backwards. Deku actually got burnt by this and he catches himself. He's like, ow. He uses his own fire to heal himself like Todoroki did. Deku's like, huh. He evolved his quirk on his own. Interesting. Todoroki seems to be in a new form where power's just flowing from him. And he sends a huge blast at Deku, and Deku realises if he doesn't stop it now, it's going to be bad. He puts his hand up and absorbs the blast, freezes time, and walks behind Todoroki and chops his neck, knocking him out. For everyone, this happened instantly, and they're all just shocked what happened. And because of Deku literally moving faster than time itself, it made a huge, gust of wind and a break in the sound wave. And Bakugo was just shocked at what he just saw. He's like, could I beat Todoroki? I don't know. And with that, they all go home. When he gets home, Endeavor yells at Todoroki, because Todoroki's covered in burns, and he's like... And then this is when Endeavor realised Todoroki must have used his fire side, and he has a huge smile on his face. And he's thinking, I knew sending you to UA would unlock your potential and make you realise you was just being childish. Todoroki flares some blue flames. This shocks Endeavor, thinking he has a stronger fire quirk than him, and he smiles. And then Todoroki pushes that blue flame to a black one. Endeavor jumps back, he's afraid of Todoroki. And he says, you dare disrespect your father, sends a fire blast at him. Todoroki just puts up a thin wall of ice, it's like Haku thin, like in Naruto, and it easily blocks Endeavor's flame. Endeavor's just shocked. And Todoroki's in Modesta and says, it is my quirk, not yours. I'll choose if I want to become the number 1 hero or not. Or the number 2 hero. And also, I'm gonna make you pay for what you did to my mother. Okay. It's a time skip. Deku is still strongest in the class. No one's been able to compare to him. But everyone's impressed with how strong Todoroki and that have gotten. Okay, now, it's the hero versus villain test, where they need to protect the rocket. And the teams for this is Deku and Bakugo as the heroes, and Todoroki and Uraraka as the villains. It begins. Bakugo is annoyed that he doesn't get a fight against Deku, but he ignores it and they start planning. Deku uses some sort of telepathy, and so no one can listen to their plan, and they're all wondering what is Deku doing. Bakugo smiles and thinks, bloody hell, Zuko, you're a maniac, and they just start laughing. Deku activates some super speed quirk, and Bakugo zooms with his explosions, and they sprint towards the explosion. Todoroki slams his feet on the ground, attempting to freeze them, but Deku just sends out a huge, heat wave, melting the ice, and they carry on running. Bakugo sees an ice spear coming at him, and he sends a huge explosion toward the ice spear, and it just melts. And they keep on flying towards him. Todoroki realizes that Bakugo might be the perfect counter for him. His explosion gives him the ability to move at insane speeds, and he can also use black flames just like him. And he can melt his ice. And due to this, Todoroki's just getting a bit nervous. But as soon as they get into the room with the bomb, Uraraka glares her eyes and points out 2 fingers, making Deku and Bakugo fall to the floor. Deku smirks and thinks, pretty good, Uraraka, but you forget. Doesn't matter how heavy you make me, I'll always be stronger than you. Deku, using brute force, stands up, shocking Uraraka, who's trying to increase the weight on him, but it just isn't working. And Bakugo uses the explosion to pull himself up and keep himself in the air. And Uraraka's just annoyed. Bakugo putting one up, increasing explosions on one of his hands so he can stay afloat. It sends a huge explosion at Uraraka and Todoroki, but aims it perfectly to the point that it literally misses the bomb. And Deku just walks towards the bomb. Todoroki charges at him, and Deku just dodges and flicks his forehead just like Beerus to Goku and sends him flying into the wall. Everyone watching this is shocked and all much just impressed. And Todoroki hit into the wall, thinks, damn it, I can't get close. And she's like, that's it. He sends a huge like multiple ice like shards at Deku, and Deku smirks and thinks, "Huh, you're learning, but not good enough." Deku just blocks it with his wings, and Todoroki's like, "God damn it!" And he enters that weird form again. He doesn't have control over it, but he's figuring it out. And he charges towards Deku, and Deku thinks, "Oh, not again." And he just thinks, "I'm not putting up with it." And he puts up his force field. But something happens. It feels like as soon as Todoroki hit it, there was something happening towards Deku himself. He's like, "Huh, I wonder." He puts his hand up and thinks, maybe there's an extra ability to my quirk I didn't know. Maybe I can copy, increase, and reverse them, like send them back. And he's thinking, I'll name it full counter. Deku yells full counter as Todoroki pushed up against his force sword. This takes the power from Todoroki's attack and times it by 100 and sends it back at him. This obliterates Todoroki, breaking multiple bones and sending him flying back. Everyone's wondering what just happened, and Todoroki's laying there, barely conscious. But he's starting to heal himself with his fire, and Deku says he has about roughly 20 seconds before Todoroki's back up. So he just walks over, grabs Uraraka by the neck, activates his other side, and starts choking her out and says, "Give up." He wants to test out Uraraka's will, and she's like, "No." And her eyes glow even brighter, trying to weigh Deku down, and he actually puts down to one knee at one point, but he forces himself back up and just slams Uraraka into the ground and says, "Good, you didn't give up," and he touches the bomb. And Bakugo was still in the background as he got ready for the next part of the plan. Todoroki got up and zoomed at Deku, and almost says, "Young Todoroki, stop." And he says, "No, this was a real practice. The villains will still keep fighting until they had to leave." And Deku smirks and says, "I agree. But normally, it's not just one hero." And Deku teleports out the way for Todoroki just to get a huge explosion blasted at him, sending him flying out of the building, and technically him running away. And then it fully ends. Everyone congratulates them, and the rest of them all go the same, blah blah blah, all the tests. And now Bakugo and Deku are walking home, and Todoroki runs up next to them. And Deku says, "I'm gonna train both of you." And the eyes both light up, knowing that they could get seriously strong with Deku training them. And I'm gonna say for plot, Aizawa gave them a 2-week training period, as he knew that Deku was the reason why the other two became so strong at a pro hero level. So he said that they can have 2 weeks off, and he asked Deku precisely to train Todoroki and Bakugo. So they start their 2-week training. First, it's for Todoroki to control his power form, and then it's for Bakugo to practice. He practices sending explosions out of his feet so he can actually fly, and Bakugo realizing he can create a constant explosion like a flame, realize he can do what he never does and fly like that. So now Bakugo has super speed flying. And then Deku enhances Todoroki's quirk a bit further. Now if he chooses to, he can have it where his fire works on both sides or ice on both sides. So now he doesn't need to focus on one hand. So Todoroki can fly just like his father and Bakugo can as well. And now Bakugo and Todoroki's quirks are pretty similar, because Bakugo can mold his explosions into weapons, and Todoroki can do the same with his flames. Bakugo mainly makes little daggers where it's like gas flame, where it's super powered, and they're little daggers that propel him, like Zuko. He can create them little daggers from his fist, like little jetpacks, and he spins them and they propel him. But Todoroki chooses more of creating multiple katanas and just send them flying. Next, they work on their fitness training and their defense, and they become unbelievably overpowered. And now we're going to the USJ villain arc. When they get there, everything's going normal until the villains attack. out comes the Nomu and Shigaraki. Before Aizawa can even get in there, Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku jump down and land in front of the villains. And Shigaraki just says, well, what do we have here? Some wannabe heroes. And Deku replies, well, what do we have here? Some wannabe #1 villains. And Shigaraki's eyes just twitch, and he's like, what did you say? And Deku being super intelligent probably already knows what Shigaraki is. He's like, I'm guessing you're trying to impress. All for one. Let me tell you something. You'll never be like him. You'll never be as great. You'll never be as powerful. You'll never be nothing like him. Shigaraki starts having a meltdown and just screams, Nomu, get him! Nomoroki charges at him and Deku clicks his finger. And Todoroki freezes the neck Nomu. And Shigaraki says, well, you've got some minions yourself, have you? And Deku says, no, just friends. This annoys Shigaraki, and the Nomu breaks out of the ice, which actually surprises Deku, but it really drained the Nomu because how strong Todoroki's ice is. And then he clicks his finger at Bakugo, and Bakugo flies towards it using its explosion to send the Nomu blasting away into the ground. And Bakugo starts to just explode the Nomu everywhere, and using his dagger starts stabbing it around. The Nomu of course heals, but it is starting to get a bit drained, but its stamina quickly regains. And then he calls Bakugo back and says, okay, I'll show you how you do it. He goes to the Nomu and it throws a punch at him and Deku just flicks it away, which destroys the Nomu's arm as well, shocking Shigaraki. And Shigaraki's like, what? That's not fair. And Deku just says, shut up, you're a child. Saying everything's always not fair. Please shut up and grow up for once in your life. This just shocked Shigaraki. When did students get this brave? And Deku's hand quickly molds into claws like a wolf. And he just stabs through the Nomu. When he's inside, he copies Bakugo's quirk and explodes from the inside out. Then looks at Shigaraki. Shigaraki tries to run away, but Deku teleports in front of him and punches him into the ground and bounces into a wall. Shigaraki, barely conscious, dives at Eraserhead, trying to kill him. But Todoroki just uses his ice to block it, and for some reason, Shigaraki can't turn Todoroki's ice to dust. And then he sees another huge explosion flying at him from Bakugo. But Kurogiri manages to save him just in time, teleporting him out of there, leaving the rest of the villains. So Deku just puts his finger behind him and sends a huge wave of flame, either knocking them out or seriously injuring them, to the point where they're unable to stand. And yeah, that's the villain arc. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, share with your friends, family. Hope you share. Hit the like, go. Okay, I need to go do my lesson now. Peace out, guys. Bye.